It is the J.R. Joker Show. I should know, I'm J.R. Joker. Okay, first of all, pay attention because my options have changed. I'm going to get something out of the way and be honest with me. Does this sign make me look fat? Okay, well, so as an old guy, I've had the shock to have to run into having to look for a job at my age because the job that I had for years and years and years, it was eliminated due to the COVID's pandemic. So I do want to keep working. When I was young, I was poor, and now I worked my whole life, and now I'm no longer young. So I decided to go for the big job, a really big position. I figured, well, I've got a lot of experience in life, so here goes. I've applied to be God. Kind of cheated on my resume, I will admit, and the qualifications are very stringent, I must tell you. You have to be able to simultaneously create and maintain the cosmic phenomenon and be possessed to an unlimited degree of all opulences such as intelligence, strength, wealth, fame, beauty, and renunciation. It's a tough road to hoe, so I kind of, I'm waiting, for the big interview. I hope I could hold my own there. They said it could take a while. They will get back to me. But if they do, oh man, the benefits are great. You could park anywhere you want on Earth. Just incredible dental plan. Just absolutely fantastic. Also, in addition to maintain the cosmic manifestation, you have to also have a bachelor's degree in humanities or a related field. Although if you do have a master's, it is a higher pay grade. Wish me luck. I'm hoping for it. The big problem is that I have to wait for the current God, hashtag Allah, hashtag Buddha, hashtag Christ, hashtag, I don't know, hashtag Krishna, that the present Supreme Person has to retire. Because there's no like co-God. You can't like, God in training, like you go for a drive along with God. So you basically, have to wait for him to want to retire. So far, he's lasted an eternity, but hey, he might get tired of the gig and want to let somebody else have a crack at it. All men really actually want to be God. We just so in lieu of that position, we try to impress people, which are machismo. Men will do anything. They say that women are vain. Men are not, left behind. I know that in my life I have done all kinds of things to be, to be perceived as being a tough guy, a real man. Probably the most macho thing I ever did was to jump out of a small airplane with a parachute strapped to my back. You stand at that little door, and the guy says jump, and you can't wuss out at that point. You're past that. So I jumped, and that was probably the most macho thing I ever did. Now I admit it would have been more macho had the airplane been airborne. But it still made me feel like a He-Man to jump onto the tarmac. Mentioned to you that I gotta mention it. My age. So a lot of younger comics ask me for some advice. Okay, so here it is. And even if you don't want to be a comic, when I give you this advice and you see how easy it is to be a stand-up comic, you'll probably want to take it up. Okay, first of all, never play to any audience less than 2,500 people. And don't go to these little clubs. You walk in, there's a dozen, 2 dozen people, 3 dozen. My God, you lucked out, Because if they're not like in sync with what you're doing, then you're just not going to laugh, you know. And so you want to pick a venue of at least 2,500 people for starters, because if 5 people laugh, and out of 2,500, you're going to get 5 people laugh. Then it's contagious, and then a few other people are like, oh yeah, I get it, ha ha ha. And this guy's not so bad after all. But you know, to make it easier on yourself at the start, try to get 2,500 4-year-olds. 4-year-olds are the greatest audience in the world. They are so generous. They just want to laugh. So, and all you have to do to make them laugh is to incorporate the word "but" into anything that you're saying. Oh, I fell on my butt. They'll just lose it. They almost will wet themselves. Oh, my butt hurt so much when I fell on it. Oh, my butt. So try to play to 2,500 people and make sure that they're all 4 years old. This is going to get your career off to a great start. Videotape it, and send it to an agent who'll see how well you're doing. And before you know it, Jerry Seinfeld will be asking you. And I just want to repeat, I wouldn't go on that Seinfeld show with the coffee and the cars and all that. I would not go on that show unless he invited me, Miss Universe was on pretty recently, and I can't help but notice the difference between North American girls and South American girls. Miss America, okay, you got like 50 states and Puerto Rico and Guam. Miss Wake Island, do they have that? And but I mean, Miss Universe, like, America doesn't win that very much, and there's a pretty good reason for it, because South American women are like just way hotter. They just are. I lived in South America for 10 years. And in order for the, I want to now incorporate some sign language, so that the hearing impaired could understand what I'm saying. That the North American women are, and the South American women are, I mean, Sofia Vergara and Salma Hayek had to come to North America and to be, to attract the North American males. Down in South America, they're just like an average waitress. Compared to South American women, North American women are men, ugly men. So, South American women usually Venezuela or Colombia. Usually it's one of those two. These two countries are practically at war with each other about the whole thing. Our women are prettier. Our women are prettier. Más bonita, más bonita. So that's why North American women don't win very often. The Mr. Universe, though, is totally different. I mean, Miss Universe, you got to be hot in a bathing suit. You got to be hot in a gown. You got to play some musical instrument or sing or something. They ask you questions do you want to feed the poor of the world? If you were Miss America, what would you do to end the crisis in Northern Ireland? Mr. America, all you got to do is that. You just go out and show muscles. That's it. They don't ask you anything. They don't even care if you speak English or not. It just seems like a great dichotomy between the Mr. and Miss Universe contest. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he won, and he didn't speak English, I think he was like 16, 17. And what would they have asked him, anyway, so if you were Mr. Universe and this building were on fire, what would you do, So what's a guy going to say? Get out, I was glad to finally do an impression. So anyway, let me know if this sign makes me look fat. And as another bit of advice for the starting out people, and just people in general, because I'm old, I want to give advice. I just want to tell you that when you come to a four-way stop or in any condition of life, on the sidewalk, even without cars, if anyone says, "Oh no, you go first," go. None of this après-vous stuff. You just vous. You let them après. Okay? Do for others, but let others do for you. And finally, just want to tell you that you don't have to have a lot of money to be happy. I mean, I do. I mean, I need a lot of money to be happy, but that's me. I'm sure you're way more stable. Okay, so thank you very much for bearing with me, and tune in next time.